Patricia. I am 34 years old and I live in Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts, and I love Jamaica Plain. And the guy I'm dating and I, we were walking and I saw this labyrinth and like stones and bricks, and I'm like, oh, that's neat. But then as soon as you looked up from the labyrinth, you saw this big pole that had colored papers all over it, and I was like, what's that? And he'd seen it before, but I'd never seen it before, and it was so like distinctive that I didn't know why people hadn't talked about this before. And so we actually took the time to walk in the whole labyrinth really like thoughtfully, I guess, and then went up to this thing, and it was just covered with pieces of paper, and started looking at all the questions. And yeah, there's the questions on one side that people write and then you flip it over, but when you're there more, you can see that you can put the questions in the box for people. That was really interesting, all the different colors. So there were all the pieces of paper, just the colors and what people would have asked for questions. And I was interested to see if people were taking it seriously or if it was just goofy. Yeah, I mean, I stood there for a while looking at all the different questions that people wrote. You could just like flip them around and see what people wrote, and then on the other side would be his answers. What I liked about how he answered the questions is that people were asking the same questions over and over and over again, and he didn't give the same answer. So for me, when I went up to it, I don't know if it was just because these were the questions that I was reading, or if there really was a theme in how popular certain questions were. But a lot of the questions were about, when am I going to meet the person that I'm going to marry, or when am I going to meet the one? And so I just kept finding that question over and over and over again. That's something that I think about a lot. And it was the same exact question, but for each question he'd answer it a little bit differently. And it was almost like you could tell when he was answering the question from, you know, the 16-year-old who just got in a fight with her boyfriend to the 40-year-old that wasn't sure what direction her life was going. It was just heartwarming that someone took the time to answer all these questions, and it was really thoughtful. There was nothing sarcastic about it. There was nothing by my book about it. It was just someone answering questions like a friend would answer questions.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it was there. I mean, I could believe it if it was on the internet, but I couldn't believe that someone actually took the time to by hand answer all these questions.